Imagine a boss who punches you in the face if you're late for the hunt. A wolf doesn't have that kind of boss. And that is exactly why they live longer than you. Psychologically.
You wake up on your own when you've had enough sleep. There is no alarm clock, no schedule, and no boss waiting for a report. You stretch on the snow thinking of only one thing. What should I do today? For a wolf, this is not a philosophical question. This is how almost every morning has begun for 2 million years. A modern human spends about 90,000 hours of their life at work. A wolf doesn't work a single hour in the human sense of the word. No salary, no schedule, no office. Then what do a wolf do all day long? Let's break it down by the facts. Let's start with what we can check right now. In the 90s, Polish zoologists, led by Theuerkauf, spent several years putting radio collars on wolves in the Białowieża Forest. They counted every single minute of the pack's life. On average, wolves were active 45% of the time. The remaining 55% was spent resting. Old data on hundreds of wolves from American biologist David Mech shows a similar picture. A third of the day is spent sleeping, a third resting, and only a small fraction is for feeding. The same picture repeats itself across different continents. Packs in Yellowstone, in Minnesota, in Białowieża. Different climates, different prey, the same result. Less than half of the day is a wolf actually busy with anything. You probably spend a lot more of your day getting things done. A wolf doesn't work because he has no reason to. It's not like he's building cities. Fair enough. But take a look at the hunt, the only activity a wolf actually exerts itself for. Scientists led by David Mech spent decades tracking wolf hunts of moose and deer in Yellowstone. The result is discouraging. Only about 1 in every 7 to 10 attempts is successful. Most hunts end in failure. The prey escapes, armed with powerful hooves and antlers, and the wolf knows it. A wolf's body is adapted not for an instant kill, but for endurance. A pack can walk and run for hours, testing the weak animals in a herd before selecting a single target. But the most unexpected discovery concerns not the hunt, but the power dynamics within the pack. For decades, it was believed that the pack was led by the strongest wolf, the alpha, who won their position through fights for dominance. This idea was first described by David Mech himself in his 1970 book. But in 1986, he began living alongside a pack on Ellesmere Island in the Canadian Arctic and observed it for many years. The discovery turned everything he had previously written completely upside down. There was no struggle for power at all. The pack was simply led by the parents, the pair that brought the pups. The young wolves obeyed them not out of fear, but just as children listened to their mother and father. In 1999, Mech himself published a paper calling to abandon the term alpha. The fights for dominance described earlier were only observed among wolves in captivity, where unrelated strangers were thrown together. In the wild, a pack is simply a family. Here is what a wolf is busy with when it doesn't need to hunt. Let's reconstruct one such day. You wake up at dawn, either in a den or at a resting spot deep in the dense forest. Yesterday's moose carcass isn't finished yet. Someone from the pack stays nearby, eating the leftovers. If it is shared, if there is anything to eat, adult wolves exchange glances, sniff each other, and rub their sides together. But there is one detail. They don't go out to hunt every day. If there is food left over from yesterday, you don't even have to leave your territory at all. Then you just lie there. You bask in the sun, groom your fur, and play with the pups, and if there are any in the pack this summer. There is no schedule above you, and there is no overseer. Young wolves spend hours tussling with one another, mimicking hunting and fighting. This isn't just play, but training through which a pup learns what adults experience in a real chase. If a hunt does happen after all, it is not a lightning-fast attack out of a movie. The pack moves single file, at the speed of a human pace, sometimes covering tens of kilometers in search of a herd. Polish scientists have calculated that wolves cover an average of 22 to 28 kilometers per day. Having found a herd, the pack watches closely for a long time, choosing not just the first animal they see, but a weak one. Lame, old, or separated from the group. Only then does the chase begin, and in most cases, it ends in nothing. If they are lucky, the carcass is dragged back to where the pups were left and shared with everyone, even those who didn't hunt. By midday, everything important has already been done. What comes next is the hardest part for a human to understand. The pack rests, lying all together in the shade, grooming each other and dozing. This isn't just laziness. This is the very social bonding without which a family of 6 to 10 wolves would not survive in a shared territory. When the sun goes down, the most interesting part begins. Canadian ethologist Fred Harrington spent hundreds of hours recording and imitating wolf howling in the forests of Minnesota. He found that howling is neither a threat nor simply noise. Within the pack, It gathers those who have scattered, reassures them, and communicates, "I am here." Between different packs, howling works differently. It marks territory boundaries and helps rival packs avoid a fight, simply by hearing each other from afar. A chorus howl before setting out to hunt synchronizes the pack, like a signal that it's time. Each wolf's voice is recognizable to the others. The pack distinguishes its members by sound, just as humans tell each other apart by voice in the dark. And the wolves didn't sleep all in one stretch as people usually think of wild animals. A wolf's activity is distributed unevenly. The peaks occur at dawn and dusk, while in the middle of the day and the middle of the night, the pack is mostly lying down. Zoologists call this crepuscular activity. It coincides with the time when it's easiest to catch prey off guard.
So it turns out, a wolf doesn't have one long sleep, but rather several periods of rest, broken up by phases of alert wakefulness, very similar to how humans slept before electric light. Here is what a wolf's full day looked like. Less than half of the day spent on hunting, moving, and eating, a significant portion dedicated to rest and grooming. It included periods of alert sleep, with activity peaks at dawn and dusk, and an evening or nighttime chorus howl, connecting with their own pack and marking boundaries with others. Then humans invented something wolves had never known: the farm. 10 to 15,000 years ago, humans began raising livestock behind fences, and some of the wolves that had settled near human camps for the sake of scraps gradually evolved into dogs. Those that remained wild were eventually declared by humans to be enemies of the farm. In North America and Europe, wolves were almost completely eradicated, precisely because they competed with humans for prey and livestock. Wolves were successfully reintroduced to Yellowstone only in '95, after decades of absence, and this became one of the largest ecosystem restoration experiments. Today, the wild wolf once again roams where its ancestors were once eradicated, but the territory has shrunk significantly, and humans are almost always nearby. You, reading this, give 90,000 hours of your life to work. A wolf spends less than half of its day hunting, while the rest is spent resting and in close contact with its pack. You're chasing a career based on someone else's standards. A wolf simply exists within the pack, where its status is just a fact of birth, not a won battle. The very life you work for until retirement, lying in the sun, being close to your loved ones, and not having to hunt every single day. Wolves do it simply because they don't know any other way. We are different species, but if you look closely, we want pretty much the same thing. Those wolves leave markings and howl at the borders of their territory. You can leave yours on this channel. Hit that subscribe button. It only gets more interesting from here. Until we meet at the next den.